training for the Pittsburgh More Than Pink Walk happening this coming weekend. We are so excited to have you join us and so excited that you chose to spend this weekend with us, helping us find a cure to breast cancer, celebrate those who are still with us, commemorate those that we've lost to this disease. And with us today to talk about the Pittsburgh More Than Pink Walk happening on Sunday, May 19th, 2024 at Shenley Park are our Pennsylvania community member or community staff members, and they will introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Brandy Engelberger. I'm the Executive Director for Susan G. Komen, Pennsylvania. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining us. We really couldn't do what we do without our volunteers.
Hi, my name is Molly Sweet. I am Pittsburgh Residing Development Manager for Susan G. Komen, overseeing the More Than Pink Walk, and I'm your local connection.
Hi, my name is Eileen Isco, and I will be the point person at the volunteer tent at the walk on Sunday.
We all look forward to meeting you, and you will see these smiling faces at the walk on Sunday. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please find one of the three of the people that you just met who will all be present at the Pennsylvania Pittsburgh walk. So before we get into the specifics about the Pittsburgh More Than Pink Walk, we want to share with you what our vision is. And at the end of the day, we want a world without breast cancer. And how do we do that? We do that by accomplishing our mission. We save lives by meeting the most critical needs of our communities and investing in breakthrough research to prevent and cure breast cancer. We raise the money to be able to meet these critical needs and invest in this breakthrough research through events like the one that you will be volunteering at. The More Than Pink Walk happens throughout the country, along with its sister event, the Race for the Cure. And here we will commemorate, like I said, the memories of all of those that we've lost to the disease, celebrate those that we still have with us, and bring together the energy that is needed to accomplish our vision and our mission. Now, Komen does its work through a 360-degree approach. We drive research, we provide care, we take action, and we unify community. Community will be one of the main things that we will focus on at the walk this coming Sunday. We will bring people who are bonded together by a common interest to deliver a greater impact in ending breast cancer. So breast cancer is a social imperative. You will see that every 12 minutes, one woman in the United States is going to lose her life to breast cancer. 1 in every 8 women in this country will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and the most significant risk factors for getting breast cancer are being a woman and getting older. So there's no way that we can escape the looming threat that breast cancer represents in our communities, but we can start combating it by trying to fund more research, by trying to provide more patient care services to those that are currently experiencing the disease. And we want to make sure that we prevent this financial strain that is caused in a lot of families who are diagnosed. We want people to not feel alone, and we want to provide hope at every one of our events, which is where you come in. So here is where our volunteering beliefs and values lie. This is going to be a meaningful experience for you all, where we all share a mission and values that everyone is working towards. We hope that this is an activity and an opportunity that provides personal fulfillment and support to our mission. We hope that this is a manageable volunteer experience. You know, we're not asking you to give us 5 months out of your year or to meet with us weekly. You're going to be sharing a couple of hours with Komen and the people that we work with and represent and we work for. And your volunteer expectations are going to be clearly communicated at all times today and while at the event. We also provide resources and training tools so that you can have a positive volunteer experience. And finally, it's going to be an enjoyable experience where you get to grow positive relationships in your community, get to know other folks who are equally as interested in ending breast cancer as you are, and also grow your personal and professional networks. Find other folks who are in your backyard who are equally as invested and start working with them towards finding our mission and our vision of a world without breast cancer. And finally, you will find that thank you will be at the end of every sentence that we say from here onto the day at the walk. We are so, so, so thankful that you choose to spend a weekend with us, that you choose to celebrate those who will be joining us, commemorate those who cannot, and just give up a little bit of your weekend to this meaningful cause. So what does the event even look like? The event will happen on Sunday, May 19th at Shenley Park, like we mentioned. We're anticipating 5,500 attendees. That includes walkers, survivors, individuals living with metastatic breast cancer, sponsors, top teams, volunteers. And our goal is to raise 500,000 to fuel our mission and programs. You allow us to make this happen because you are giving up a little bit of your Sunday morning. You're making sure that we're not spending funds trying to flying our staff from all over the country to staff these events. And therefore we can invest more money in our mission. So this event brings us all together so we can take action united. Again, thank you so, so much for adding to the impact of the event. This is what the site is going to look like. You'll see that there are lots of different tents and lots of different areas. There's a stage and a Hope Village that is kind of opposite of the stage. The area that you need to really know is this tent number 1. That is the volunteer and staff tent. Everyone upon arrival to the event needs to go directly to tent number 1. Upon arriving to tent number 1, you will check in with Eileen and her team, and they will provide you your volunteer t-shirt and confirm your volunteer spot and your role. So once you arrive, again, you check in with Eileen at tent number 1 next to the stage, and you can pick up some coffee, put on your t-shirt, and then be deployed to your area of volunteerism. If you are in the VIP tent, you'll be heading over to the VIP area. If you're in Hope Village, you'll be heading over to the Hope Village area. The same with We Remember, and so on and so forth. But again, the one tent that you cannot forget is tent number 1. And you'll be able to see this map more closely if you go to the website as well. So you don't need to be zooming in to the video or pausing it. We'll make sure to add the map to the event day details email that you'll be receiving. Okay, so this is the event day schedule, what to expect. This is not when you are arriving. This is when the rest of the world arrives to the More Than Pink Walk. So your volunteer shift might start anywhere from 6 a.m. to 6:30, 7, 9 a.m. Depends on your role. But for the rest of the world, we open our site at 8 a.m. And then that's also when Hope Village is open. So you can start from the moment that our site in our expo area opens, folks can start going to Hope Village, getting some breakfast, getting to know other survivors. 9 a.m. marks the start of our opening ceremony, and at 9:30 the walk begins. Now, most of your shifts say that they end at 1. You will most likely be out of there by 1. We expect most folks to be done with the walk at around 11. So once the walk begins to die down and folks begin to leave, then the rest of your volunteer time and the expectation is that you help us tear down your area of the walk, pick up trash, etc. But by 11, most folks are ending their walk. It doesn't usually take an hour and a half to complete, and so you'll see folks starting to trickle out by that time. So these are some of the frequently asked questions that we get. Who is the lead point of contact for the area or for volunteers in case any issues come up? Your lead point of contact for all volunteers on the day of the event is Eileen. So you again can go back to tent number 1 and ask Eileen for extra materials, or maybe you're responsibility ended. You completed what you had signed up to do. You go back to volunteer tent and they will redeploy you. If you have any questions before the walk, please email me at pavolunteer@komen.org with any questions or changes before the event. I will be monitoring that account and letting Molly and Brandy and Eileen know if any questions or issues come up ahead of the event. The day of the event, go to Eileen. I won't be monitoring the email, so make sure that you find someone on your staff or you, again, go back to the volunteer tent. Where can people find maps and information? The site and route map is on the Pittsburgh More Than Pink Walk website. So again, all you have to do is type in Pittsburgh Komen Walk, and you will be directly ushered to the top website, which is our event side website. If not, you can also click the link in the email that we will send you, and it will take you to that website.
I
Where are the restrooms?
also dropped the komen.org/Pittsburgh Walk URL in the chat.
Beautiful. Where are the restrooms, food, and water? There will be portable restrooms located in the expo area. Please review the site map for restroom locations, but when you arrive, it'll be pretty clear to see where the restrooms are. And there will be food, coffee, and water for volunteers in the volunteer tent. But because it's so early, we definitely encourage you to have a little something before you leave your house. We don't want you passing out at 7 a.m. because you're used to having a big breakfast and all of a sudden you didn't have anything. So please make sure to grab a little something at home on the way out, even if it's just a banana. Anything is going to hold you over while you get some coffee in you. So what happens if you need to help restock any food, supplies, etc.? Again, you're going to contact your volunteer lead at the volunteer check-in tent. What happens in case of an emergency? First, any big emergency, please call 911 immediately. But if it's an emergency that you think does not merit a 911 call, you can find any of our Komen staff. We will be wearing black staff t-shirts at the event. In case of an emergency, again, please dial 911 or find the nearest crisis response team assigned to the race. There's often cops walking around or medical folks who are there for these types of emergencies. We don't want this to be a place where there's any type of emergency. So if you suspect something, if you see something, say something, just please let us know. Again, one of the staff will be able to help you, or the police presence or the medical presence on site will be able to help you as well. And then where do volunteers go when they are ready to be redeployed? This is that scenario that we talked about where maybe someone asks you to put out the waters in the water station and you finished putting up all the waters. That doesn't mean that your volunteer job is done. That means that we might need you somewhere else. So please go back to the volunteer check-in tent to be redeployed. Arrival time, information and resources. The arrival time varies by volunteer role. Again, check the email in which you're receiving this training to see what time your shift begins. And please make sure to arrive at least 30 minutes before your shift start time to account for parking and walking to the site. That shift start time means that you are ready to go and in your area at the time that shift begins. That doesn't mean that you're like pulling into the parking lot at that time. It's going to take you a little bit to park, find some parking in the garage, and then walk over, get your t-shirt, grab a coffee with Eileen, and then get to your area. So please reference your individual shift reminder email for the correct time. Parking. There will be free parking available in the East Campus garage located off of Forbes Avenue near CMU's Gessling Stadium. There is no parking on the Flagstaff Hillside of Shenley Park or Shenley Drive or in the center island across from the Phipps Conservatory. So please make sure that you are accounting again for that parking, finding parking and then walking from the parking area to the event area. We encourage you to also either ride share or carpool if possible. If you have other folks that are going and volunteering, make sure that you all go in one car. That way there's not 7 of you that are all fighting and for parking and looking for a parking spot. It's also nice to kind of brave the morning woes with a friend. And again, right after parking, you're going to go to check into the volunteer tent at the expo area. Things to bring. Wear comfortable clothing, please. You're going to be outside. We never know what the weather. This last weekend was super rainy in Philadelphia. I've been to walks where it's just hot and sticky and super sunny. And so we suggest that you bring athletic attire, tennis shoes, or comfortable walking shoes, a rain jacket if you need to, sunscreen definitely, and just the most comfortable shoes you can find will save the day for you. And also some volunteer Komen volunteer t-shirts will be provided upon check-in. The sizing is on first come, first serve. So make sure that if you want a specific size for your t-shirt, you arrive a little extra early to make sure that we still have that size. And these t-shirts are evergreen, right? So once you receive one of these t-shirts, we hope that you keep it and you treasure it. That way next year, when you come back and volunteer with us, you get to bring back your t-shirt. One, it allows us to not have to spend time figuring out t-shirt sizes and getting you a new t-shirt, and you can just go straight to your location. And 2, it allows us to save money too. And more money that we can save on t-shirts means more money that can go to our mission. So we highly encourage that you save and treasure your volunteer t-shirts. They're bright blue, so you'll be able to spot any volunteer in the expo area by who's wearing a bright blue t-shirt. Okay, so this is the nitty gritty about the event and what's happening where. So the event setup crew are the folks that are setting up before the event. They may experience a little bit of downtime between deliveries or unloading, or folks trying to figure out where is the banner for fill in the blank area. But you will be the folks that are helping us hang up banners, assemble step and repeats, assemble flag banners, dress tables, put up signs, decorate tents, organize supplies, write signs, and assemble our activation pieces, right? So you are kind of invited to peek behind the curtain in the land of Oz, and you're helping us put on this event for the rest of the folks who will show up just for the event. So you're helping us keep the magic going for the walk. Registration. Now, while not every participant needs to stop by registration, we do want to encourage folks to register for 2 reasons. One, because in order for them to make a donation or to fundraise, they need to have registered. And 2, because we want to know who's coming to the event and engage them year round, invite them to other Komen events and opportunities, and invite them to participate with us in the future as well. So participants who wish to make a donation in person and attendees who wish to register will stop by the registration area. We are going to prioritize registering using the QR code and asking folks to register on their phones. But if someone does not have a phone, or it's just impossible for them to register on their personal devices, then we will have a paper registration available. If you are assisting in the registration area and someone requests a paper registration, please make sure that that participant completely fills out and signs the registration forms. There is a front and a back to that form, and the back often gets forgotten about, but the back is where the signature is. So it's not a real registration unless they complete the front and the back. Some additional duties that are not necessarily registering folks is welcoming attendees and inviting participants to fill out back signs while they come to the registration area. You will also be assisting with passing out mission pillar wraps and ensuring that there's no bottlenecks. So if you see that there's long lines starting, then making sure that we go to folks and ask what they need or why they're in line. They might not even need to be in line. And so we want to make sure that you are staying attent and attentive, and that you are attending to any needs of the folks that stop by the registration area. Now, what happens at volunteer check-in with Eileen? That is the area that checks in every volunteer as they arrive. We also ensure that every volunteer has with them or has already signed while they're there a volunteer agreement. If you registered online through the official volunteer sign up, you have already completed the volunteer agreement. The only folks that don't have that or who have not completed that are anyone who requested that Komen staff sign them up on the back end, or any volunteer who is a minor. So if you're bringing minor volunteers, make sure that you bring a signed volunteer agreement. Again, the volunteer agreement will be attached to this email, so you can just print out a copy, a PDF copy, and make sure that that parent or guardian for that minor signs that agreement and that you bring it with you the day of the event. Again, that's the majority of folks have already done this. That's not something that you're going to need to worry about doing the day of the walk. But if you have any friends that maybe did not have the chance to register ahead of time as volunteers, but they really want to go with you and they really want to volunteer, then those are the type of folks that would sign their volunteer agreement on site with Eileen. We're also going to escort volunteers to their area. So once folks arrive and the volunteer tent has handed out their t-shirt, has made sure that they're checked in, we'll make sure that everyone gets to where they need to go. So volunteers will be escorted to the Hope Village area or to the We Remember tent or to wherever it is that they're positioned, whether it's a water station or a cheer station, whatever it is, the folks at volunteer check-in will be the ones that direct you to your specific area. They will also distribute volunteer resources if needed, if you're in an area that requires you to hand out flyers or to whatever it is, to know maybe a little bit extra, then we'll make sure that you get them upon check-in. They will also confirm your assignment, your check-in time, and deploy you or redeploy you if needed. You finished your assignment, you go back to them, they let you know where else you're needed. And then finally, not every volunteer needs to check out, but if you are asking Komen to verify your volunteer hours, then you're going to stop by that volunteer check-in tent to check out and to have a representative of the volunteer check-in tent sign off on your hours. Parking volunteers and greeters, these are the first folks that are, and we say mall, but it's mall, expo area, whatever. These are the first folks that you see whenever you walk into the activation area. They greet you either directly outside of the expo area or as you're walking into the expo area. They also provide information about the walk. So they will be the folks to ask, like, if you don't know when opening ceremony starts, or if participants want to know what time Hope Village opens, they're the folks to ask. So you want to make sure that if you're a greeter volunteer, you pay especially close attention to when these things start, the opening ceremony, the walk, and when folks can start going into things like Hope Village. The start and finish line, folks assist with the start of the walk. They cheer for participants as they depart the start line. They cheer for participants as they cross the finish line. And if available, they distribute flowers to survivors crossing the finish line. And then I think one of the things that we don't often talk about, but is a big deal to a lot of folks who are completing the walk, is they also help take pictures of attendees as they're kind of walking past the finish line, right? So maybe you're cheering, but you also see a big group that's trying to take a selfie and they don't all fit. You want to make sure to offer your assistance in taking a picture of that team who's crossing the finish line. Our water station folks, pretty self-explanatory, pass out water to participants. They cheer participants on throughout the course, and they're assigned a location. Yes, Molly.
We also just added where the water stations will be around the course will also be sponsored by Millie's Ice Cream. Look for the pink doggy bowls for all the doggies that are welcome.
Oh, how exciting. I love that. Okay, So then our course monitors. Our course monitors ensure that participants stay on the course and they keep an eye out for potential medical emergencies. So yes, you're cheering, yes, you're making sure that people are staying on the path, but you're also noting if anyone falls or they twist an ankle, or maybe folks are taking a little bit longer to catch their breath because they're dehydrated or anything of the kind. So not only are you monitoring that folks are staying on the course, you're monitoring the participants, right? Making sure that there's no fights, no medical emergencies, nothing of the kind. You are also part-time cheerleaders. We recommend and encourage you to bring signs and portable speakers, pom-poms, props, whatever you'd like. You will also be assigned a location. For course monitors, some folks like to bring chairs, like foldable chairs, and that's okay too. If you don't want to stand the whole time, you can bring your chair and cheer sitting down. That's okay too. Our cheer stations. So what do? They cheer participants throughout the course, and they are also assigned a location. We also encourage you to bring signs, portable speakers, pom-poms, props, etc. A lot of these folks oftentimes decline the volunteer t-shirt because they're wearing their cheer outfit or their uniform, and that's fine too. If you want to wear your cheer outfit, your uniform as part of a cheer station, please let us know, and that way we can save the t-shirt for someone who needs it. And then finally, our event teardown crew, and these are the folks that are assisting with the teardown of the event exclusively. Although everyone pretty much has an event teardown crew job description as part of their job. So if you're in an area and the event is coming to a close, you're going to help us throw trash away, remove signage, store materials in respective tubs if there's a tub in your area, or pass out leftover food. Now, please note that we don't want anyone starting to tear down the event unless you've been given the green light by one of the Komen staff members who's wearing that black t-shirt. So once that Komen staff member tells you you're good to go, then you can start tearing down your area, but please don't do so prematurely. We're going to get an inside look at some of our more mission-oriented areas. So in our pillar tents, we have 4 pillars that we discussed at the very start of this training: care, community, action, and research. And essentially what happens at all of these events is you're sharing information about how Komen acts in the community, and how Komen acts under each of these pillars. At certain events, the tents are different, and there will be 4 tents. And at other events, there is 1 tent where we're activating all of these different pillars all at once. Pittsburgh is one of those events, so all of these different pillar areas will be activated in 1 big tent. So you're not going to be divided as volunteers for the pillar area. And you'll be sharing information about Komen's advocacy efforts, about our community events, about our Shares for the Cure research program, and also playing a Komen match game. So the folks that are in this area are just going to be assisting those who pass through in knowing how Komen activates in our mission throughout these 4 different pillars. So again, you as a Komen volunteer for the mission tent are going to be speaking to each of these pillars in that large area. Okay, finally, we have Hope Village. Hope Village is a very special place where we celebrate some of our most important members of the Pittsburgh More Than Pink Walk family. It is an area that is open to breast cancer survivors and those living with metastatic breast cancer, and one guest of their choosing. There will be a guest list at the door. However, we'll get a little bit into kind of, should you turn people away, should you not, in just a second. Your volunteer job assignments in Hope Village include greeting and thanking survivors, checking people in. There will be doors, so letting folks that can come in, maybe helping folks that are going to go out. refilling merch bars, refilling food tables, collecting trash, and other tasks as needed. Um, as an important note, we don't want to turn anyone away from Hope Village if they self-identify as a survivor or as someone who's living with metastatic breast cancer. Um, for the most part, you get to see who's a survivor. They're wearing a pink t-shirt, a Komen pink t-shirt. For those who are living with metastatic breast cancer, they wear a teal t-shirt. In years past, there was like a berry t-shirt. Some folks might be wearing their t-shirts from other years. But if you have a question about someone's admittance into the Hope Village area, please talk to your Hope Village lead or to a Komen staff partner, and they'll be able to better assist you. But you don't want to put yourself or anyone else in an uncomfortable situation where you're letting them know you are an approved survivor, you can come in, or you are not. Molly.
Yes, we actually have two Komen leads in that area, Cambria from Crumble Cookie, and a gal that will have a name tag on named Julie Senchek, and one will definitely be at the entrance. And we have many volunteers from their families and staff. So once you get to the entrance, the pink carpet, they will be able to be easily guided by both of those ladies.
Beautiful. All right, y'all. So if you have any questions, comments, or conversation, please contact me at pavolunteer@komen.org. I'll be happy to field your questions. Whatever I don't know, I'll get Molly's or Brandy's input on. And we are so excited to see you on Sunday. So thankful for you to, again, choose to spend a weekend with us, making our world a better place and ending breast cancer one person at a time. Thanks
Bring
again.
the sunshine, y'all. Bring the sunshine.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, Brandy, I think you're gonna.
I'm gonna stop recording.